experienced hikers cut their way out of their tent and fled into the freezing darkness. None of them would return alive. In January 1959, 10 young hikers set out on an expedition into the northern Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union. They were not inexperienced adventurers. Most were skilled hikers and students or graduates of the Ural Polytechnic Institute, trained to survive some of the harshest conditions in the region. Their route would take them through deep snow, isolated forests, and mountains where temperatures could fall far below freezing. But one member of the group became ill and turned back before they reached the most dangerous part of the journey. The remaining 9 continued. None of them would ever return home. Weeks later, search teams discovered the group's abandoned tent on the side of a remote mountain. But something was terribly wrong. The tent had been cut open from the inside, and the hikers had apparently fled into the freezing night without proper clothing or equipment. What happened next would become one of history's most disturbing mysteries. Inside the tent, searchers found boots, warm clothing, food, and personal belongings still in place. There was no obvious reason for the hikers to abandon this shelter in such extreme cold. Even more disturbing, investigators found footprints leading away from the tent and down the mountain. Some appeared to have been made by people wearing only socks or even walking barefoot through the snow. The footprints continued for hundreds of meters toward the forest below. There, searchers made their first horrifying discovery. Beneath a large cedar tree, they found the bodies of 2 hikers beside the remains of a small fire. Both were poorly dressed for the conditions. Nearby branches high above the ground were broken, suggesting someone may have desperately tried to climb the tree. As more bodies were recovered over the following months, the mystery only deepened. 4 hikers were found inside a ravine beneath several meters of snow. Their injuries were unlike anything investigators expected. Some had crushed ribs, one suffered a fractured skull, and another was missing her tongue. Yet there were almost no external wounds to explain the trauma. Over the decades, countless theories have tried to explain what happened that night. Some blamed secret military experiments, others suggested powerful winds, infrasound, or even something unknown. But one explanation has gained more scientific support than the others: an avalanche. In 2020, Russian investigators presented a new explanation for the Dyatlov Pass mystery. They believed an avalanche may have forced the group to suddenly leave their tent. Later research showed that this explanation was scientifically possible, but some details of that night remain difficult to explain, and the mystery continues to be debated today. More than 60 years later, one question still remains. What made 9 experienced hikers leave the safety of their tent and walk into the freezing darkness? The mountain has never given us a complete answer.